So here I have the Pixel 11 Pro and the Pixel 11, both of them here in the studio. You can see Pro, non-Pro, and both of them in their black colorway. So the boxes look very much identical. You would almost think that I got the exact same phone twice, but one of them is the Pro model, one of them is the base model. So in this video, we're gonna take a look at unboxing both of them, quick little first raw impressions, and a quick little comparison. So without further ado, let's talk about it. On the back, you can see a little bit of the specs, and you can tell that the only difference is the fact that the left one says Pro. You have the device here. No longer need a physical SIM card. Activate your eSIM during phone setup. Oh, gotta love that. Then you get a USB-C to USB-C cable. Man, they do not slide out easily from these little containers that they're in. Same accessibility support. And there's the device. Much bigger camera bump that you can already see that before you even take it off. You know you got the Pro when you got that big bump. And the same USB-C to USB-C cable. Both of them no longer require the physical SIM or have the physical SIM available anymore. That's a real shame. Reveal of the Pixel 11 first. In its glossy glory. It's a black matte rails, okay, but glossy finish. I actually did not know that. You know, it's nice black. I mean, it's just a little glossy. Then the matte Pro, look at that, all matte all around. So if you get the base, you get a little glossy finish. Feels just like glass. It feels nice, I would say. And then the only glossy part about it is the logo. You can see there, it's a little glossy logo, but there's the comparison between the colors of the black. You get that matte look versus the glossy look. And both of them will have that matte railings. I think if you get any of the other colorways, the sides here are going to be glossy for the Pro. But otherwise, they look exactly the same in terms of dimensions and size. I mean, take a look at that. They look very identical. And I think the Pro is just a little bit heavier, not by a ton, but I think it's just a tad bit on the heavier side. And I will note, if you look at the reflections there, slightly different color that they're reflecting. The 11 is more on the, I want to say, warmer side, and then the Pro is more on the bluer side, like the cooler looking side. See, the 11 here is 196.8 grams versus the Pro, we got 205 grams. So the 11 is, again, on the slightly lighter side. But otherwise in the hand, dimensions feel pretty much identical. I will say the bump, I think, is nicer on the Pro because of the fact that it's thicker, allows you to put your finger in the back here and kind of gives it a little support spot. But otherwise, besides the bump and the color being glossy versus matte, I think that's gonna be the main telltales that you have the base versus the Pro, because the buttons are on the same side, the power button and volume rocker feel the same, nothing different there. On the bottom, the speakers, you can tell a bit of a difference. The speakers have, looks like slightly different material. There's like a mesh on the Pro that's clearly visible compared to the base model that doesn't have that mesh. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but the Pro has like a mesh going on there versus the 11 does not have that. So I wonder if that affects the speaker quality. Both of them have USB-C, but I wouldn't be surprised if the USB-C capabilities are slightly different. Like, I suspect the USB-C of the Pixel 11 may be like USB 2.0. Don't quote me, but I wouldn't be surprised. Versus the Pro may have the slightly faster USB-C port. And both of them no longer have the temperature sensor that I think up to the 10 had. I know the Pixel 8 had it because that's what I have now. But I think only the Pro has the highlight. I guess we'll find out once we turn it on. But that's pretty much it in terms of the dimensions though, because like I said, otherwise they feel and look like the exact same phone. Let's go ahead and power these on and go through the setup and see what it's like setting these two devices up. It's probably going to be the exact same experience. They both turned on at the same time, and it looks like the Pixel 11 might actually have a little bit more battery out of the box. So you have the ability to set up with another device. I do have my Galaxy Z Fold 8 that I've been rocking as my daily driver since I got it. And so I think I might use this guy to transfer over. In fact, there we go. The first phone to tell my Galaxy Z Fold 8 that it wants to be set up is the Pixel 11 Pro. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through that. And I think what I'll do is I'll use my Pixel 10 Pro Fold to set up the Pixel 11. That way they can both be set up at the same time. And you can see that regardless of which Android phone you have now, Samsung or in this case another Pixel, it'll prompt you on the phone itself, and then it'll just have you scan a QR code to sync them up, and then you just proceed from here to be able to set the rest of the device up. Oh wow, it knows me. That's beautiful. I have to always customize because I have to pick exactly what I want to copy over. Okay, so I found and connected my accounts, and it also prompted me to transfer over my mobile data, but I am on Visible, and I think I have to go to their app to set it up, so I skipped it for now, and I'll transfer my mobile data, or mobile number, I should say, later on. Okay, but here in Customize, what I like is that you can select what you want to transfer over. So for example, I only want to transfer over like the apps, and you can go in and select the apps specifically that you want to transfer over. It probably is going to transfer over some of those Samsung apps, unfortunately, which is kind of annoying. But it is what it is. I don't want to transfer over any of the photos or music or documents. Leave that all as is. Oh, that's cool. So because from the Pixel, with a Pixel, I guess it could download more settings or transfer over more settings. So you can transfer over privacy and feature settings that were already set up on your Pixel 10 Pro. Versus you can see here on the Pixel 11 Pro, it doesn't give me that option because the Galaxy did not have those features. Or maybe it did, but it's probably a different named or whatever in the Galaxy, so it's not gonna transfer over nicely. Okay, so both of them can transfer in the background. I'm gonna skip mobile network here. Okay, now we can set up the fingerprint sensors. I wonder if they're different. I wanna say they're probably the same, but let's find out. So that's nice. If you install a screen protector right away, you can actually select to turn on that setting to set it up with a screen protector. Maybe it makes it a little bit more bright or something, I don't know, to make sure it gets your fingerprint right. But for now, let's do no. Okay, so they're in the exact same spot. Let's see if it's bright. Oh, it's not bright. So that means they're both using the same fingerprint sensor, I'd imagine. And both of them are ultrasonic too, which is good. So this is nice to see. I like that. And both of them only allow to set up 4 fingerprints. And then face unlock. This probably is going to be the same exact as well. Set up for limited vision or head motion. Okay, so if you have like issues with your head for some reason, you can use that. That's cool. Okay, tilt your head up. Okay, tilt your head more directly at your phone. Tilt your head down. It's the exact same setup on both of them. Now let's go through simple tasks with probably Gemini. Yep, gonna set up my Gemini. Right now they're both at the Find My, which I highly advise you turn that on because I think it's awesome that Google finally is making their own little trackable tag, which is great for making that ecosystem better on not just Google Pixel and Android, but just for everyone. Okay, so now you can set up any additional stuff. So like get instant translations, identify music around you. I like this feature because when you're just casually at the gym or casually at a restaurant or something or at the mall, and you want to see what song you're listening to, just turn it on. Change how text displays and appears. Both of them are on the default settings, and you can see that the PPI probably is just a little bit better on the Pro. Not too different, but in case you were curious. So here you can go through a bunch of other additional settings that it suggests that you may want to take a look at to set up right away while you're waiting for your transfer to complete. So then it's just gonna finish copying over your data. So while that's happening, let's take a look at some cases, shall we? First, we've got some Crave cases. So shout out to Crave. They sent them out for me to check out. They have the dual guard for both the 11 Pro, so this phone here, and then we have some for the 11, this phone here. So the exact same case as far as I understand, it's just for their specific dimensions. So in this one, I'm really excited about this one because I like this color. I got them on all 3 of them, or I should say in all 2 of them. I got them all in the blue, green, and red. I think it's called berry. I forget which exact colorway they're called because they have specific colors. Names, like I think this one might be forest green, but these are cool because for one, obviously they protect your device really well, but they got MagSafe. So if you, or Pixel Snap, as they like to call it here on the Pixel phones. And I will say this does fit like a glove, fits real nice on here. I really like the green colorway as well. But you can see, protects the big ass camera bump that the 11 Pro has, so that's a good thing. The buttons feel pretty clicky with this, so it feels nice. Buttons and ports, cutouts for your ports here. And like I said, it's got MagSafe, so I got 2 MagSafe accessories here. I got an O-Snap kickstand, should attach right on. That's awesome. And like I said, I'll take out the Berry for the 11 here. So in case you want to take a look at that, I think that looks pretty slick in my opinion. This one modeled specifically for the 11, and you can actually tell right away based off the fact that it's like almost flat. It basically makes your phone just literally flat actually. No rockage at all with that case. Versus this, the 11 Pro, because of the camera bump that it has, it still has a little bit of rockage. But the 11, look at that. You add a case to it, it ain't rocking at all. That's actually really nice. So you can definitely feel reassured that your camera bump here is going to be perfectly safe. Actually, let me check how much weight they add to the phone itself, because I'm always curious about that. Because recently I've been really just like all about like, I want my phone to be as light as possible. As you remember, this was like 190 something, I think 196, 246 with the case. It was like 205 or something like that, 256. So roughly around the same amount, because it was about a 10-pound difference, or 10 gram difference, and that's exactly what it feels like. So it feels nice, it feels good, grippy, nice colorways in my opinion, clicky buttons, and buttons and ports and MagSafe. That's all really that you need. So again, I'll leave them down in the description if you guys want to check out the Crave cases. But we're not done there, because we have more cases. So these cases were sent out by FNT, and that's actually the case that I've been using, well, the brand that I've been using for my Galaxy Z Fold 8, and I've been absolutely loving this particular case for the Z Fold 8. I think it's a really nice case, but they have their own collection as well. So they have the translucent matte black look here with the mag or pixel snap on it, a clear one. So if you want a clear case with pixel snap, you got this one. And in fact, I think the Pixel or Google has their own case as well, and I think there's $50 for their version of the clear case. This is probably way less than that. Then they have this case. This is a very simple case. There's no pixel snap. It's just a grippy case. If you're looking for something simple, cheap, just to protect your phone and don't use pixel snap, then just you can get something like this. Then they have that rugged case, which is actually the case that I've been using sort of on the Galaxy Z Fold 8. You can see those reinforced corners on the case there. That's exactly what this is. It's got the translucent look to it, and it comes with, not only is it pixel snap, but it comes with a little kickstand, which is nice. And then this guy right here, this is for them dads. This is for them dads that want to have that classic belt clip. So you got a little belt clip here that this just goes onto your belt, and you can just snap your phone into it. So, and not only that, but this is like a 360 guard type of case. So it comes in 2 parts. So here, if I remove this here, your phone, so let's try it out with the Pixel 11 Pro. So your phone should just snap in this, and then you place this in here, and you basically got a nice solid heavy duty case here. This is gonna be for someone who maybe works in construction or something, because it is very bulky, very thick. But it's also the fact that you can just slide this guy into the little belt clip here, and you're basically good to go. You're just a classic dad whipping out your phone from your belt, and you're ready to go. But you can see here that there's also a piece that comes with this case that you saw there, that it was 2 pieces. If you're someone who wants a full 360 screen protector built into the case, they have this, because this goes with that belt clip as well. So I've put it on, full 360 protection. It's a plastic protector, nothing amazing. And it's got a little spot for your fingerprint sensor. But again, this works perfectly with that belt piece, so you can keep your phone well protected. But let's say you don't want this, but you also still want a screen protector. Just like the Galaxy Z Fold 8 cases, these cases each come with a simple screen protector. It's not going to be anything crazy, just regular glass protector, free, bundled in with your case. So if you want to be able to get a case and also need a screen protector, well, one of these cases actually, specifically, I mean, these 4 cases here all come with an included screen protector. So if you want one of those, you can get just one package and you're good to go. And not to mention, these cases are compatible with both devices. So let me take out the Pixel 11 Pro from this particular case. So if we take this case, which is probably gonna end up being my favorite case here, has its own raised bump, so it protects that camera bump. But if I want to I can just take this case off and just put it onto the 11, and it should fit as well because they're basically the same phone, right? And because the 11 has a much shallower camera bump, even more protected. You're literally not going to have any issues with any of these cases because they're all basically engineered in a way that it's going to protect the 11 Pro, so it's definitely going to protect the 11, which is pretty cool. So if you're looking for a case that for some reason fits both of them and you just one case that fits them all, I mean, the FNT case is engineered or built around both of the devices. And just to make it a fair comparison, let's go ahead and quickly weigh all of them with each of the phones, with each of the cases, so you have an idea of how heavy it's going to make your phone. 249 with the 11, 257 with the 11 Pro. That was the clear guard with the MagSafe or Pixel Snap and the rotatable 360 stand. Regular translucent simple case with the 11 here, 236. The 11 Pro, 244. Now we're looking at the clear case here, 238 with the base 11, 246, almost 247 for the Pixel 11 Pro with the clear case, 246 with the base 11 with the simple black case here, and the Pro is 255.2. Last, we got the big boy here. This is the case that has the 360 protection. We'll go ahead and put both of the different types in here in case you're curious. So with the 11 with 360 guard protection here, 274, not surprised, probably the heaviest one out of all of them here. Okay, with the 11 Pro, 282.5. Then if you decide, you know what, I don't want to use 360 guard, I just want to install my own screen protector, but you still want to protect your phone with this guy and use the belt clip. Okay, with the base 11, 269.6. Lastly, the 11 Pro with 278. Oh, and I forgot to mention though, the case that has the belt clip on it does have a kickstand. It was a little tricky to get out, but if you want to prop your phone up, this works for landscape and also for portrait. But note, there is no Pixel Snap on this particular case. So that's the FNT cases and the Crave cases, a bunch of cases that you guys can check out. Of course, like I said, this is just a showcase of these cases because I obviously have not had enough time to check them out myself, but thanks to both of them for sending them out for me to actually check out and have a case to protect my device while I test out these devices. So if you want to check them out, I'll leave them down in the description below. Okay, so they have finished now copying over the data, both on the 11 Pro and the 11. First thing I can tell is that the 11 has my settings from the 10 Pro very nicely because it has the battery showing versus the 11 Pro doesn't. That's because it couldn't do that. It can't translate that from the Galaxy, which is cool. But now this should be done and we should be ready to start using the Pixels. And I mean, again, you can tell which one came from the Pixel because the Pixel 11 looks like all the settings that I had for my 10 Pro because it already has turned on the dark mode and also the night mode, or just the night mode, I guess. And it also has here my settings that I already had on the 10 Pro, which is actually really nice. So it's able to just pick up from where you started. So if you're coming from a Pixel, obviously it's going to be very nice and very easy. But if you're coming from another Android, you can see here it has none of the settings that I had set up for my device. So it's going to take a minute to set them things up, but you know, it's still pretty nice. But now let's do a little quick comparison between these two devices. So obviously the first thing I want to check out is the display because I'm very curious to see what kind of quality we got on both devices. So first, the settings. I went straight to the display settings here. The brightness level, let's see, if I set this to max, they look the same. I don't see a huge difference. I mean, they both look pretty bright to me. I'm not sure what the actual nittage is, but they both look pretty bright. Let me turn off adaptive brightness. They both look very bright to me. We gotta go to an HDR video because obviously this will tell us really the maximum brightness that they can get because both of them will get brighter when it comes to HDR content. And you can see there, they both look fairly good, like very good. I don't really see a massive difference in terms of brightness, quality, color. They look very good. And if I pinch the zoom to take up the full display, because why not? Yeah, these look gorgeous. They look basically identical. I think the only difference really is if you look really closely. Like really closely, the 11 has slightly, just slightly thicker bezels. Okay, so that's the 11 Pro. So that's the 11 right now. Okay, my first impressions, the 11 Pro definitely sounds better. It's got a more fuller like sound to it versus the 11. It's not terrible, but you can definitely hear that there's like lack of fullness and bass to it. Not bad, but still, side by side, I notice a difference there. That's strange. Geekbench is not available on the Pixels. Yeah. It's not available, but it's literally available on the Galaxy here. Why is Geekbench not available on the Pixels? That's strange. I did not know that was a thing. I was gonna try 3D Mark, but even that one doesn't appear to be available either. Yeah, that's not available on the Pixels either. That's very strange. So I was gonna show maybe some quick raw performance, but I can't even test that. So we're just gonna move on from that. But software, Pixel has the most simplest Android experience you could possibly ask for. If you're looking for something that's super simple, you're gonna get the exact same experience on both of them, and I think that both of them should run it pretty well. Both have the Tensor G6, and both of them do have 12 gigabytes of RAM. So that is a downgrade compared to last year. I didn't have the 10 Pro. I mean, I have the 10 Pro Fold, and this has 16 gigabytes of RAM, versus this 11 Pro only has 12. So that is definitely a downgrade compared to what you had last year if you had last year's phone, or I think even maybe the 9, I'm not entirely sure. I think the 8 had 12 gigabytes. Let me check. Yeah, the Google Pixel 8 Pro had 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is the last like Pixel regular phone I've ever had. So the phone that I had from 3-4 years ago has the exact same RAM as the new phone that I have here, which is, like I said, this is the base model. So it's got the 12 gigs and also 256 gigabytes of storage on both of them. So it's nice that the base storage is now double what it used to be, 256. I think you have to have 256 now in 2026. I mean, even 256, I will say it's kind of pushing it nowadays as well, but at least they finally made that more. But let's take a look at the camera, because there is some stuff that Google does with the camera. Wow, so here's some things before you start. Pixel 11 Pro, choose the camera look. So you can choose a look. You got the original. What else you got? Okay, so you can look some samples. You have natural, you have shadows, and vanilla. So if you want to set like a preset, I guess, to these, looks like you can select, go through them, and set a specific look if you want to go ahead and change that. Top Shot, you can automatically take several photos when there are people in the picture to make sure you get the perfect shot, and both of them have that available. So you can either turn that on or off. Auto Best Take, automatically choose the best expressions from photos, and both of them have that available. And then the Pixel 11 Pro here has the 120x Pro Zoom, and it does require AI imaging with Wi-Fi. So if you want to use that, it's only on the 11 Pro. Both of them here do have an ultra wide. I think it's a different sensor. Don't quote me on what exact it is, but let's take a quick photo of my camera here. So that's a bummer, but the 11 Pro nailed it. And then we have here, again, the telephotos. Well, it should be the telephoto, but I have a feeling that it just cropped in on the main sensor for the 11. Then we have the main lens. It looks like it took an HDR photo on the left-hand side. It's really overexposed or brightened up that light over there. But the image looks overall brighter. I think it might have been because it's HDR. Yeah, Ultra HDR. So that's why. So let me go back and retake some of these photos, because it was doing it in HDR on the 11 Pro versus not on HDR on the 11. So let's retake this selfie. Now it looks fairly similar. Yeah, I would say it looks really similar. I mean, I think the color tone is just a little bit different on the 11 Pro, but still not bad. Oh yeah, you can see those chin hairs, nice. Oh yeah, look at that lip and those chin hairs. Both of them are very much passable, in my opinion. It does look like the 11 might have a slightly more bigger depth of field or something like that, because it definitely looks like it's a little bit blurrier back there. But let me just take a couple photos. In fact, I'm gonna use the Fold here as a little subject. All right, now we can actually somewhat compare them. I will say the 11 Pro does seem to have a little bit more detail. Like if you look at the camera here, it seems to be like a little scratchy scratch on the fold that the 11 Pro picks up a little bit better. But that's pixel peeping if you ask me. Really, if you're just taking a quick photo, it looks like it's fine. Oh, went the wrong way. Yeah, they look fairly similar to me. They're both going to be good shots in my opinion. Oh, and one thing I just noticed, the 11 Pro's camera is actually a lot wider. Like I look huge there because you can see a lot more. It's almost identical, right? And you can see my monitor back here perfectly, the camera, you see the little bit of the actual stand. If I zoom into 1x, but both of them here have this magic capture, which I won't be able to test out today, unfortunately, but I'm sure you've seen a lot of the other people talking about it already. But magic capture seems like a cool concept, but not something that I think I will actually use myself personally. But quickly looking at the video settings, I want to see what kind of options you got. So with the 11 Pro, you do have 4K, 4K. Let's see what's missing. Video boost is missing on the base 11. If you use that, you can do 4K, 4HD, and 8K. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, you can do 8K on the 11 Pro. That's quite pro, if you ask me. But the question is, can it do 4K on all of the lenses? Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it can do 4K on all of the lenses on both of them. And macro focus, looks like you can't do that on the 11, whatever that may be. Maybe, oh, it's because the 8K turns on video boost. Okay, so it's really not 8K. Okay, well, that's disappointing. So macro, now we can do macro. Okay, so now we can do macro, and it's only available on the 11 Pro. That might be because of the ultra wide that it's using. Both of them have the creator, which you can save to a specific project. Oh, something went wrong. Okay, looks like it doesn't want to work. Teleprompter, so you can obviously use a teleprompter with this. This is a script, and I'm using the teleprompter. Okay, so now what do we do? Oh, looks like it's still capturing my voice, so it looks like I'm gonna have to say exactly what I'm saying right now because I'm going off and I'm going crazy. Okay, whatever. This is a script, and I'm using the teleprompter. Okay, so now what do we do? Oh, it looks like it's capturing my voice, so it looks like I'm going to have to say exactly what I'm going to say right now because I'm going off and I'm going crazy. Okay, whatever. Okay, so that's the teleprompter, audio visualizer. Ooh, oh, that's cool. So you can actually see if audio is coming through. So if you have like a microphone plugged in, you can check that out. Speech enhancement, this probably is gonna make your, yeah, this has been existing before. I've seen this before on the Pixels. And social media grid, that's interesting. Keep the subject in this area for the best framing. Oh, okay, so looks like Pixels giving you tips and tricks to be the best content influencer out there. But nevertheless, that's the cameras. I mean, Pixels have pretty good cameras usually, and I'm sure the 11 probably is gonna be very, very competent when it comes to comparing it to the 11 Pro. Last thing I'll say is, everything's pretty much downloading and transferring over, and I would say the 11 Pro actually got a little toastier in my hands. Both of them got pretty toasty, but not to the point that I was uncomfortable. But if that's a sign that that's as hot as it's gonna get ever, then hopefully that's a good thing, and we don't have to deal with the phones, the Pixels being super hot. I mean, it's been a couple generations that since I've had Pixels, so hopefully by now they've figured it out. But I guess we'll be figuring that out and finding out. But I won't be going into performance because unfortunately I was going to do Geekbenches to show you guys raw performances, but I have to download or I have to log into all these games and stuff, so I won't actually be able to go too in-depth in here, but we'll talk about that after a week when I finally get a chance to actually use these devices as my main devices. I think I'm going to swap back and forth between them or something because, I mean, two devices, it's like a juggle between them, so we'll see. But what we can check out is highlights. So how do I get to that actually? So in the system, highlights, and looks like it is just the Pro. So only the Pro has the highlights. So speaking with Gemini, calls from favorites, and that's about it. I will say what everyone else has been saying, and I'm very disappointed that it's just for those features. Or let me try triggering it like this. Ah, it worked, yes. I don't know if you can see. Oh, it went off as soon as I lifted it. Let me try and cover that up. Oh, there we go. See, it's turned on. I swear it's turned on. It's like a little blue color. It's spinning now. Okay. Thanks, Gemini. Appreciate that. But that highlight, we'll see if I end up using it. Probably not, but I hope that in the future they can make it more compatible with more apps, or just open it up so that all app developers can use it. But with that being said, that's the Pixel 11 and Pixel 11 Pro with my first impressions. So we'll take a look at these devices after a week or 2 weeks, and I'll give you Another update on these phones. I'm gonna switch between them so that we can talk about them after a week. Which one should you get? Should you spend the extra, like I think $200 or so for the 11 or get the 11 Pro? We'll find out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this was helpful. Peace.